Somewhere in a Kodak laboratory in 1975, a 24-year-old engineer built something that would change the world forever. His company buried it. This is that story. Steven Sasson was nobody special, just a young engineer given a small assignment in a backroom lab. But what he built from spare parts in that room was the world's first digital camera. It weighed 8 pounds. It took 23 seconds to capture a single black and white image. It stored photos on a cassette tape. By every modern standard, it was laughable. But in 1975, no one had ever captured an image without film. Not once, not ever. What Sasson built in that back room was the first crack in a wall that would eventually bring down one of the most powerful companies on Earth. He was 24 years old. He had no idea. When Sasson presented his invention to Kodak's executives, the room went quiet. Not because they were amazed, because they were terrified. Kodak, in 1975, controlled 90% of the American film market. Film was everything. Film was the money, the factories, the jobs, the entire reason the company existed. And this 8-pound box sitting on their conference table was a direct threat to every single dollar of it. So they made a decision that would go down as one of the worst in business history. They told Sasson his invention was interesting. They told him it was cute. And then they told him to never show it to anyone. They didn't destroy it. They didn't cancel it. They just quietly buried it, locked it away, told themselves they would develop it slowly in the background and release it when film started to die naturally. What they never considered was that someone else might not wait. Through the 1980s, Canon invested everything in digital. Sony released the first commercial digital camera in 1981. Nikon followed. Fujifilm followed. None of them had a film business to protect. None of them had anything to lose. Kodak watched it happen and kept selling film. By 1999, digital cameras outsold film cameras for the first time in history. Kodak's stock began its long fall. In 2003, they finally announced a pivot to digital. 28 years after the kid in the back room built the thing that could have saved them, it was too late. In January 2012, Kodak filed for bankruptcy. 14,000 people lost their jobs. A company worth $30 billion at its peak was gone. They did it to themselves. Steven Sasson spent his entire career at Kodak. He watched them bury his invention. He watched them ignore the future he had handed them. He watched 14,000 of his colleagues lose everything. In 2009, Barack Obama awarded him the National Medal of Technology for inventing the digital camera. Kodak gave him a plaque. He still works as an inventor. The camera that changed the world sits in a museum now. Nobody from that boardroom meeting has ever publicly apologized. If you like this story, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment with the next story you want us to dig up. Every suggestion gets read.